반짝이는 눈빛 눈이 부셔 매일 날 감싸주는 손길.
Something felt off. Yun Song-ho couldn't shake the feeling that someone was eavesdropping on their every conversation. In Shin Yojin's hospital room, he stood beside Guhana, both of them wearing serious expressions. They had been careful, yet somehow Choi Myung-ji always seemed to be one step ahead, moving before they even acted. Guhana shared her unease, agreeing that their plans were being anticipated too easily. Unbeknownst to them, Choi Myung-ji and Yoon Se-young had planted a listening device in the hospital room. Through it, they had been monitoring every word exchange between Yun Song-ho and Guhana, allowing them to act swiftly and stay ahead. Confident in their scheme, the two conspirators believed nothing could stop them. But eventually, the truth came to light. Their plan unraveled, exposed by someone determined to bring them down. In the end, both Choi Myung-ji and Yoon Se-young were arrested and sent to prison. It all started to fall apart the moment Shin Yojin muttered the word notebook, trying to remember something. The mention struck a nerve in Choi Myung-ji. Her reaction was instant. Guhana was startled by her sudden change in demeanor. Without explanation, Choi Myung-ji threw open the hospital room door and ran out. Guhana watched in stunned silence, then tightened her lips with determination. She was sure now something important was hidden in that notebook. Meanwhile, Choi Myung-ji sat alone in her room, staring at her laptop screen with a blank expression. One earbud in, she listened closely. On her screen, a bagging app was active, transmitting the conversation happening inside the hospital room. Every word Guhana and Yun Song-ho said was clearly audible. Yun Song-ho's voice came through again, suggesting they have someone quietly check the drawer for evidence. At that, Choi Myung-ji narrowed her eyes, closed the laptop, and muttered to herself that they would find nothing. She packed her things and left the room quietly, believing she had stayed one step ahead once again. But Guhana and Yun Song-ho still hadn't realized their private conversations were being overheard. Meanwhile, Eun-chong, a quiet child, was playing by himself in the hospital room. He bent under a low table to retrieve something and noticed something odd. A small, flat device stuck beneath the table with a clear tape. A faint red light blinked on it. Curious, he carefully reached out and stared at the strange object, his eyes wide with wonder. He called out to Guhana, pointing to the device. She and Yun Song-ho rushed over and bent down to see what he had discovered. As they looked closely, they realized that a sophisticated bagging device had been expertly hidden underneath the table. Guhana gasped as soon as she saw it, and Yun Song-ho's expression turned grave. That was it, the reason their plans had kept failing. Everything they said had been heard. Eun-chong worried, asked if he wasn't supposed to touch it, but Guhana reassured him with a smile. What he had found was incredibly important, a hidden recorder. Now that the truth was in front of them, everything made sense. They understood why every one of their strategies had fallen apart. The hospital room grew heavy with silence as the three stared at the small device now in Yun Song-ho's hand. Guhana, deep in thought, sat at the edge of the table. Then an idea sparked in her eyes. Instead of destroying the bag, she suggested they use it to feed their enemies false information. Yun Song-ho was surprised at first, but upon seeing her resolute expression, he agreed. To make this work, they would need to act perfectly. They had to convince Choi Myung-ji that they were still unaware, by pretending their plans had failed, by faking arguments and moments of despair.
'Cause you are beautiful, a beautiful stranger.